Hello everyone, we are back. Welcome to Rise of Tiamat, Session 5. Let's see. Any weird stuff going on? Don't think so. I think we'll just start off with a... what do you call it? Recap. Who would like to do that for me?
I'm still pulling up my notes and such.
You're fine. We had a little bit of a late start.
Let's see. That's not it. Let's see here.
Apparently I didn't have my notes up either.
Well, our last session, we made it to the frozen iceberg fortress of the White Dragon Frostheart, I think his name was.
Mm-hmm.
The spell-casting sorcerer dragon.
He also had a fancier dragon name that eventually we gave up on pronouncing.
Aralthator, I think I finally...
Aralthator. So we went there just, during the day at one point, and we encountered the native people, the Uluks, I think, who lied to us and told us the dragon was dead and told us to get out of there very convincingly. But they had a shaman or druid with them who was able to speak to animals, and Kobis was also able to speak to animals, so they were able to sort of covertly have a conversation during this other conversation, and she told us to come back, sneak back in at night. So we managed to leave and come back and go to speak with her, and she gave us the lowdown on, the people are basically under the dragon's thumb, and nothing would change while the dragon was around, and then we got a little bit more information and set out to kill the dragon. We went down to its lair and looked around a bunch. Managed to make our way through some slip-slidey halls with only a little bit of trouble.
Crawl.
We found Makath, the tiefling that we'd been sent there to find, who is knowledgeable about the Drakhorn. And they seemed at peace with their current situation, but still pointed us in the right direction. And then we managed to fight Aralthator, which is a very cool encounter.
We also met some kind of were they little frog scholars, little ice toads?
Oh yes, the ice toads, who were there to chronicle Aralthator's entire life. So they were both simultaneously thrilled to be there for the end of the life and sad that it could not continue, I guess.
Yep.
Which I think was a cool perspective. But yeah, Aralthator almost got away by turning invisible, but then Taisho's lantern revealed it and allowed us to prevent that from happening.
Sad day.
Almost made it. Was the killing blow a stalactite from the ceiling?
From Kyla, I believe, yeah.
Yeah,
it was very
which
cool.
Was super metal.
Yeah.
And then, while it was bleeding out and making its death saves, Astor stabbed it with her demon soul-sucking sword, and it rose up for just a second and let out this horrific shriek of the damned, and then slumped back down. That was fine. It's cool.
All normal stuff,
Just genie things.
That's my genie.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Haley, did I leave anything out there that you can add?
Not that I can think of.
Cool.
I did like the way the dogs were barking at you guys. There are people here. When
There are people.
Kobis was trying to talk to him. All right. Well, we have a couple of things to take care of here. The first and foremost, there was a dragon horde to sift through. After that, I would like to take a pass at attuned magic items and see if anybody's over the limit. I don't think so, but it was a rule I'd kind of forgotten about since 5th edition is a little bit lower magic than previous editions. But the let's see, instead of going through all of the gems and pieces of artwork and all that fun stuff, I've switched over to a more abstract measure of party wealth instead of tracking every single gold piece and copper piece and all that stuff. So, currently I have the party at 2 coin. I'm going to bump that up to 5 coin from the hitting this dragon horde. I don't know if you want to leave any in for the Uluik tribe, but you have 100% claim to all of it if you want.
I mean, we did free them from tyranny. That seems like a pretty good reward.
Yeah. I mean, they aren't upset at all. They don't really have much use for coin.
Exactly. That's definitely what I was thinking.
But, so I've got you guys up at 5 coin. Let's see. I guess Frostheart is aware of the party, but this clock is no longer relevant, so I will close that one.
I do have one question about the coins. About how much money are they worth each? Like, just around?
I was thinking about $2,000 for be considered like 1 coin, or maybe $1,000. I don't know, something like that.
That seems reasonable. I'll say I don't have a ton of meta knowledge of like cost of things in D&D, and I know that it does kind of scale to in like a silly way. Like it'll go from this is worth 100, this is worth 500, this is worth 1,000, this is worth 10,000, this is worth 50,000. So
yeah.
like,
and how much is a day's meal is like a silver, and you're like, okay, so I could either feed this entire town for the rest of their existence, or get a magic shield.
It's a little close to home in reality.
So, sorry to interrupt, kiddo. What were you saying?
Oh, I was saying that it goes from starting at common and ending with legendary 100, 500, 5,000, 50,000, 500,000.
God.
So I assume we won't be buying a scroll of Tarask summoning anytime soon.
Well, let's not be hasty.
You don't know what we're gonna find in this dragon horde. Dragon horde, huh? Sounds a lot like Drakhorn.
It does. The Drakhorn is not here, but Makoth was able to tell you that the cult did come by, and it was here at one point, and they left with it a year ago, something like that. It's tough to tell the passage of time when you're in this enclosed iceberg all the time.
Let's see here.
Why would there be a scroll of Tarask summoning? That doesn't even make sense. Who would want that?
Crazy. These crazy kids.
Alright, let's see. I got a big old list of magic items here. Let's see.
Is the masquerade tattoo an attunement item?
Masquerade tattoo. No.
Probably not, yeah.
That's easy peasy. That's like typically the attuned items are either a little bit more powerful, or they give you a feature that you normally don't get. So like a +1 weapon doesn't give you that, but maybe a cape that allows you to teleport would.
I don't know if you saw this one that I just put in the chat.
This would have been useful a long time ago, Allie.
I know.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I just found it now. It's the Cloak of the Bat, and it's very Laszlo as an item.
There is.
And if I could entreat our lovely DM to have it in a horde somewhere.
I think that's fine. You just the command word. I mean,
is
bat.
What? Oops.
I definitely leveled up. I don't know what you're talking about. Of course I leveled up.
I definitely
Don't mind me putting the finishing touches and stuff.
Here's what I put in there. Let's see. I was gonna have a Cape of the Mountebank. I don't know how to say that. Basically, it lets you teleport around and be crazy. But if you want that to be a Cape of the Bat, we can change that.
I'm cool with that. Do you want to be able to turn into a bat?
Yeah.
Just acknowledging the magic.
Doing the magic.
That's
And
just,
then I can fly around with Oliver, and I think that's real sweet.
Oh.
We take
You
Max.
can ride on his back as a bat.
Yes!
I know I can fly. It's just more fun this way.
I'm just very lazy.
yep, max
Your
HP.
owl mount.
And sorcerers have a hit die of D6.
D6, yeah.
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 It's
What else?
respectable for a caster.
I'd be happy you're
Well-
getting maxed. It makes a big difference.
In previous
does.
editions, wizards and sorcerers, I think, had a D4 hit die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a really gut punch.
Wizards still die from everything. So.
Incidentally, a gut punch would kill most magic users.
Outright.
Okay, but like a stiff breeze.
Oh, I get
Starts tearing away at their skin like,
spells.
And like parchment.
All right,
Which
lots
is
of.
ironically what I have my spells written on.
Let's see. All right. Yuri, I have a special request of you.
yes.
There's a magic item here that was that you recognize as being part of like a family heirloom from your relative Balasar. He was a kind of a swashbuckling, roguish bard, and you remember hearing stories about him, and you recognize one of these items as being yours or part of your family. If you don't like any of these, then we can change something out for like +1 armor or +2 armor or something like that.
Okay.
We got Ring of Feather Falling. It's a very light electrum ring, shaped like a feather twisted into a loop. Cape of the Bat. I didn't write down the details of that guy. A Bell Branch. That is something that Kobis had requested. And it basically detects the presence of different creature types like Fae and other types I can't remember. But you can also cast protection from good and evil. Ring of the Ram. That lets you punch things from a distance and try to break things with some DC of. It gives you like big bonuses to your strength checks.
Okay.
A Javelin of Lightning. That lets you. It's basically a normal javelin until you throw it, and if you say the command word, then it will turn into a lightning bolt and strike the guy, doing 4d6 lightning damage to everything in a line. If the guy gets hit, he does not get a save. Everybody else gets like a DC save in the path. Ring of Regeneration. It's a thick, flat, banded golden ring. Flowing ivy is engraved on the surface with little flecks of jade as the leaves. And that lets you regenerate one hit or like a d6 hit points every 10 minutes, and it'll regrow lost body parts over time. Astral Shard. This crystal is a solidified shard of the astral plane, swirling with silver mist. And what it allows you to do as a sorcerer, so I don't think this is it, but as a sorcerer, it lets you, anytime you use one of your meta magic options, you can teleport, basically blink around the battlefield in little 30 feet increments.
So one of those is an ancestral item of Balasar, who is a relative of mine.
Yeah, and you remember hearing stories about him of just like adventurous stories. Some of the stories you didn't like because they didn't really paint him in a heroic light.
Sure.
But
Scamp. I feel like either the Ring of Featherfall or the Ring of the Ram is probably going to be the coolest, or allow him to do the most interesting things. Since he can jump very high and get up to high places, it might stand to reason that getting down safely could be good. But I also like the idea of being able to break stuff. Let me see here. I'm just skimming over the text here to see what it actually does. Okay. You guys have any input? What do you think?
I mean, Ring of Featherfall would have been very useful for one wizard that I remember eons ago. Perhaps for you
What,
as well.
Fizzban? Dumb idiot.
Fizzban. I
The
love
guy
Fizzban.
from Dying.
Or Mook.
What did Ring of the Ram do?
Basically, it has 3 charges, and it regains some every dawn. You can use an action to expend 1 or more of the charges to attack a creature within 60 feet. It produces a spectral ram's head and makes an attack. On a hit, for every charge you spend, the target takes 2d10 force damage and is pushed 5 feet away. Alternatively, you can spend a number of charges to try to break an object within 60 feet by making a strength check from the ring. So it's kind of like
fun.
telekinetic force, it seems like Dresden's ring.
I think Yuri would have a lot of fun breaking a lot of crap.
That sounds like it. Yeah, I'll take the Ring of the Ram. It's like, Featherfall is smart, and it could enable certain cool things in the future, but
I can just see Yuri's face and hear the ooh.
I'm imagining if I took the Ring of Featherfall, requesting that Kyla cast Fly on him or something, flying up super high, to do something, and then the fly runs out, and he's just trapped in the air, falling at 60 feet, leisurely, unable to help in any way. Like, oh, just wait here, I'll be there soon, don't worry.
You take the ring off and pocket.
Yeah, I'm like Link in Breath of the Wild, I'll take the ring off and plummet 120 feet and then shove it back on really quick.
Just keep pulling it on and off.
Yeah. It's more of an art than a science.
Oh crap, I have to attune to it.
Am I going to fall for 30 minutes?
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, I think I'll take the Ring of the Ram.
Alright.
That sounds good.
Yeah, and you, maybe you find, scraps of his loot or whatever that have been frozen into the ice. Like, his story just kind of ended one day. People weren't really sure what happened to him. But I guess you kind of piece it together that he wound up here somehow.
Yeah, so you see Yuri bent over a small, segment of the trove. Maybe there's a rapier and a hat, and just a small patch of items that has some sort of sigil on it. And he picks through it and produces this ornate-looking ring, and then clutches it in his taloned fist as he looks over to the corpse of Frostheart, and then straightens up, pockets the ring for now, and moves on.
Yeah, the corpse of Frostheart seems to be deteriorating.
Oh.
Even here in the
That's
cold.
not.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not-
completely not natural. Like, you've killed a white dragon before, and the body just kind of solidified and frozen, and it was fine. But this one seems to be rotting, and it's even starting to stink a little bit.
Aster looks at it and it's like, oh, that's weird. I wouldn't worry about it. It's probably a dragon thing.
I was going to ask if this was related to genie magic. Kyla, is this normal?
No, not at all.
Well, he was a magical dragon, so
Magical dragon.
could he have cast some sort of spell to transfer his essence to another vessel, or to his body regaining power somehow?
No.
He looks pretty dead.
It looks very dead.
Does anyone have gentle repose?
I do not.
I don't. Cancer.
Stark would. I don't think he has it prepared right now, so he'd have to wait till tomorrow, and by then Probably too late.
Is this dragon too big to fit on the ship? Could we net him like a whale on the side of the ship?
Yeah, I think you would be able to do it. With Kobis enlarging you and hoisting him up out of here would be fine. Or the other thing you could do is Kobis could turn into some like giant sea creature that's appropriate for the area and tow it underwater. There's some underwater passages here that it was using to come and go, so he could like carry it out that way.
For a second, I thought you were going to say Kobis could turn into a giant snake and swallow it, and then that way. That doesn't seem plausible, but I like the idea. So Yuri will turn to the others and say, "Do we gain anything by trying to preserve this and taking it with us? I don't know how easy it would be to get it into Nikolai's hands, or if we even want to do that."
Probably not.
Well, you are the Nikolai expert, since Karen's not with us.
You hear through your sending stone, what?
Nothing. Out of character, do we think we gain anything by trying to take the body with us, aside from maybe just like pieces or harvesting materials from it to take back and use?
I personally think that Dracolich would be extremely cool, but other than that,
Nikolai has made it known that he wants dragon bodies.
Right.
But in the past, you guys have been like, nah, we're just gonna bury these dragons. It's cool.
That's true.
So the only thing you would really benefit is dragon pieces can be harvested and used in different magic rituals and things like that. But if you go down that path, it becomes apparent that it's like going down to its skeleton pretty much. The flesh is rotting, the organs are liquefying, and it's warm to the touch.
We can use the bones for anything, I suppose, but otherwise, perhaps we'll just leave it here for the Uliks. Perhaps they can craft something from it that would be useful, as we're not leaving the Horde with them.
it's a pretty good resource. We should probably take the head, though, as a trophy.
I am partial to taking the heads as trophies.
I've seen your helmet.
It is very good, isn't it? I always forget that I have it or that I'm wearing it.
But yeah, let's see. Other than that, like it just takes about half a day to get all the treasure out of the pit. It's all frozen into the walls and the flooring. But with Aster's just natural heat generation and some liberal use of the firebolt cantrip, you're able to get at that stuff pretty easily. Mm-hmm. Was there the last couple bits of business? Makoth the Crimson is able to identify the tomes and the spell books that belong to the Arcane Brotherhood and the Ice Toads. I think his name was Malfolb. I'll have to zoom in.
That's a real mouthful.
I like how you said that with your face entirely deadpan.
Well,
Marfolb.
Marble mouth. Well, Marble.
He has probably a few more days of just writing on this to complete the task of Aralthator's life. But this like library full of all of his deeds, the decisions he made and everything. This is like the most up-to-date dragon archive for like a single dragon that you've ever seen, Kylo. definitely like trying to negotiate with this guy to get some other dragon scholars out here to study this would be useful and not difficult to accomplish. I'm not going to make you roll any dice or anything. I just want to communicate that it's very interesting to dragon scholars everywhere.
Yeah, that's fine.
Other than that, I don't think there was anything left here at Oya Vigaton, Ralph the Tor's iceberg lair. So if that's that, then I guess we'll get back on the sea again.
Did Kyla and Aster get something from the Horde?
Oh yeah. What guys? I mean, I think the obvious choice for the the thing that's only usable by a sorcerer is probably good for Miss Kyla.
Really, I was actually thinking that Tai Show would be pretty good for that.
When you use a meta magic option on a spell while you're holding or wearing the shard, you can teleport to an unoccupied space within 30 feet. That's pretty cool. Whoosh.
Javelin of Lightning seems pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
So we got Ring of the Ram going to Senior Yuri. We got Javelin of Lightning. I think Allie was asking for a ranged option.
It was.
And the Cape of the Bat. Ring of Feather Falling. Who wants that?
Oh, if that is also there, I would also take that, but I don't need it if somebody else is interested. You're all interesting, obviously.
Maybe Taisho will take the Ring of Feather Falling.
Listen. Yuri can't have the Ring of Feather Falling because when we launch him into the air with a giant trebuchet when he's enlarged to gargantuan, how is he going to grab Tiamat out of the air if he's falling at like 5 feet?
Listen.
Sorry.
I like the image of him at the top of his trebuchet arc, just starting to coast down at like a perfect 45-degree angle, like flying off towards the sea, desperately scrabbling, trying to swim backwards through the air.
Victor
and he
Steele
was never seen again. Disappears over the horizon.
Victor Steele had a Ring of Featherfall, but he forgot about it, and there was this wizard that we were up in this room with a big hole in it that went back down to the first floor. It was like 40 feet below. And this wizard like misty stepped down there to get away from us, and I just jumped off the thing to like drop an elbow on him. But because I've had the Ring of Featherfall, I just went just slowly went while the magic user just moved away.
Oh, Victor Steele.
Victor Steele.
But yeah.
I thought you were going to say he did a fizz ban. I was like, oh no, Victor.
Just forgot he had it.
To the victor go the spoils.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you want the Ring of Featherfall, I think that's cool too. Just put these items on your sheet.
Just going through, making sure I. Yeah.
A Ring of Featherfall requires attunement as well. Yeah. Thank you. No, I just swallowed, inhaled some water.
Don't do that.
What were you saying, Allie? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just wondering if perhaps there is the common wondrous item Bag of Tricks laying around anywhere.
Don't you have something like that?
I do, but this is so much better.
Let me look up what Bag of Tricks does.
It's so good, dude.
Ordinary bag made from gray rust or tan cloth.
Now, if I have a ring of Featherfall, can I turn the effect off at will?
I think you can take it off.
That's fair.
But then I think attunement requires like 10 minutes or something.
So it unattunes if I take it off?
I think so. Ring of feather falling.
It says, when you fall while wearing this ring, you descend at 60 feet per round and take no damage from falling. Let me look up attunement. Oops.
What are you gonna do with this bag of tricks, Alan?
I don't know yet. It seems like a good thing to have on hand.
There's a cool magic item. It's a homebrew magic item. But maybe for the next Dragon Horde. It's just a bag of duplication, and it's just a normal leather bag. But if you put something in it, you roll a d20. On a 15 to 20, it looks perfect. 10 to 15, it's a little bit off, and then like a 1 to 5 would something looks absolutely bizarre.
That would be
So
very fun.
it's just really fun.
That would break
one of
the
my-
economy so fast.
No, what I did is actually my party tried to use it to duplicate money, but I had them take a d6 of psychic damage instead. Like, it didn't work, it just swallowed the money. Or maybe it didn't have them take damage, maybe it just destroyed the money, but something like that.
What's the challenge rating of a dire wolf? So you can just reach in and pull out a dire wolf. Whoop, whoop.
Direwolves aren't so bad, you know?
So, on the topic of attunement, it says, a creature's attunement to an item ends if the creature no longer satisfies the prerequisites for attunement, if the item has been more than 100 feet away for at least 24 hours, if the creature dies, or if another creature attunes to the
Okay.
item.
So yeah, you can take it off, put it in your pocket, and then put it back on when you're ready.
Hooray. I have no plans for how to use this, but we'll see what happens. I like the catapult idea.
So it's a good idea. Just pick up a big rock, jump up over something.
Oh, well, I have my Ring of the Ram now, so catapult me at a wall, and I'll just...
Yes.
Anime style burst through it.
Yeah.
Alright, Aster, you've got 2 magic items out of this horde. You want a third?
I mean, I can wait for it to be rewarded at an appropriate point.
What are the other ones? Cloak of the Bat and
Javelin of Lightning.
the Javelin of Lightning. Right?
I know it wouldn't be the smart move to trade the Javelin for the bag of tricks.
Here's the thing. You can still have normal javelins.
That's
Like,
true.
those are dirt cheap, and then, you know, they're throwing items, so... My only fear with items like the Javelin of Lightning that don't return automatically is I don't want to lose it.
Could I have the bag instead of the Javelin?
Are you shitting me?
Worst player in the world.
You are not, Allie.
It's very interesting.
Oh, I just want animals. I don't want to be a ranger.
Nobody wants to be a ranger.
Rangers are awesome. They're underrated.
Take the stupid bag of tricks.
Yes. Which color is it? Which color is it?
The worst color, whatever it is. Gray?
Give me the javelin back.
I meant you can have the javelin. I meant you can have the javelin too.
Oh, you give me all of these goodies.
Gray bag of tricks.
Yes.
Specifically gray.
What if she paints it a different color?
It's something she might try.
I did see that there's, I forget what the item is specifically called, but it's basically magic paint, and when you paint something with it, it becomes real.
I love
So,
that.
like, paint
Cool.
a 2-dimensional thing, and then it becomes real. Yeah,
It's like, man, we really need a ladder. All right. There you go.
very, very cool and flavorful.
My
Even
bard-
darker painter.
My bard in Curse of Strahd actually has a homebrew spell like that. It's called Animate Art.
That's pretty cool. I always wanted to get animate objects. I never got a character to that level.
Oh, I could have picked it up. Instead, I got telekinesis, which is
That's
Still
like
pretty cool.
animating an object.
That's true.
I can move something up to 1,000 pounds.
Ooh.
Wait, how much does a dragon weigh?
Let's see. Probably a large dragon would be in the 1,000-pound
Like
ballpark.
the
How much is a
J
horse?
pound,
see.
probably.
A solid horse.
Like over 1,000 pounds, I would think.
So a dragon would definitely be more than
Maybe a
that.
horse is a couple hundred. How much does a horse weigh?
I love the
It's like
internet.
How much does a horse in an autofilled cost in 5e?
How much?
The average horse weighs 890 pounds.
But how much does it cost?
Okay, well, cost in 5e. About 75 gold pieces. We could we could get a mastiff for 25 gold pieces.
Oh.
No one's small enough to ride it, but you know.
That's so
Imagine-
bad it could be.
Imagine we don't spend any of our coins until the very end of the campaign, at which point we just buy a massive horse farm. Like,
It would just have a massive blow up party.
Yeah.
Woo!
just buy hundreds of horses and drop them on Tiamat. The end.
So everybody got some new magic items. There we go. Let's see. What else? Come back to my notes.
I'm going to send you a project I would like you to, if you could help me with this.
Yeah, what?
It'll be a surprise for later. I'll just send it to you directly.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Has everybody looked at their stuff that required attunement?
I think I only have... I have a Ring of Protection and a Sword of Wounding, which is my tail. I assume the Sword of Wounding is an attunement item.
Let's see.
And the Ring of Protection, I think, is...
Ring of Protection is attunement. Let's see. Sword of Wounding. I assume that's attunement. Yep.
So I have two.
And Cape of the Bats.
I think Kyla is probably going to attach the Astral Shard to her necklace with Lightbringer scale on it.
Nice.
Very cool.
Cape of Bat doesn't... Or Cloak of Bat doesn't say... attunement.
What?
Bat! Ooh, Sue is spooked by that.
What?
Well,
You
she
say
thought there
that.
was a vampire in there. Cloak of the
She's
Bat
got-
requires attunement. So that's 3.
Is it? Huh, I guess maybe I'm not looking at the right kind of list.
At least in like I type
Here
it in.
is. Yeah, my eyes are dumb.
Oh, what else? All right. So right now, Aster is at her limit of attuned magic items. I think you're only allowed to have 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. These are good items.
All right. Cool. Anybody else close to their limit?
If I have both of those rings that I just got, I am now also at my limit.
Okay.
My only one that required attunement was my boots of striding and springing that I've had since inception.
Yeah.
And then let me just look through. So the only other stuff I have is just a basic like +1 shield, +1 armor, +1 weapon, and those don't require anything. I had the Illuminator's tattoo, which I haven't made much use of, and also doesn't require attunement. So I think I'm now just at 3. Happily at 3. Kyla still has room. I mean, might as well just pull out that dragon mask, right?
That
So I have the Cloak of Elven Kind, the +1 spell DC bracers and the Astral Shard. But with the Cloak of Elvenkind, she doesn't really do a lot of stealth, so if anybody wants that, then I'm fine with giving that away.
You can't give that away. That's your symbol of the Harpers, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I probably should keep it then.
We could keep it. You just have to attune to it.
You can, yeah,
Sure.
you can loan it to somebody else.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just don't go to the store and sell it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that.
All right. That's our bookkeeping for the day. Let's see. Kobis is not able to join us, but last night we worked on a couple of things. He was able to finish up the Farseer of Illusk. And what else did he work on? What were the two things he worked on?
You
Oh,
had
and
to
then,
roll an Arcana check for something, I think.
yeah, the Arcana check was for the Farseer of Illusk. That was the magical telescope that lets you do scrying.
Ooh, is that one of our clocks?
Mm-hmm. Yep, he filled that up. That's at Castle Neriatar, that big observatory up at the top. It's like clockwork magical item. I said that through because you guys are going to be on good terms with the Arcane Brotherhood, that they'd be able to send some people out to help fix it. Let's see. And then he also started working on the docks. He was one tick away from getting that up and going for his awesome rolls. One thing you can do with coin is you can just pay to have that completed. So 1 coin will fill in 1 wedge. The other thing you could do is if you guys wanted to spend one of your downtime actions to do that, then you could. I'm going to post this in the Rise of Tiamat channel just to show you that.
Thank you.
I suppose Frostheart never became aware of the party.
Well,
He did at the end, but he didn't get to prep a few of his spells, unfortunately.
How can we purify this evil sword?
I don't know.
we're only one away from releasing Suncaller.
Ooh, we should probably do that.
We haven't even started forming the mercenary company.
You did
I am
the
already with corrupted.
hire the Merc Company lieutenants. So
Well, yeah, so we did the lieutenants, but there's a separate one below that that's completely blank.
Yep.
So since that's my project, I should probably start working on that.
If that's what you want, then yeah. You saw kind of the layout of how many sessions we're going to have left. Keep that in mind when working on clocks. If something's going to be, if you want like a mercenary company for that final battle, then definitely put some time in on it, or just spend a bunch of coin to do it at the last minute.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just thinking about the projects, and I realized I never drew Frostheart or the Cloud Chaser, Glacial.
Ooh. Well, you can draw them both together now, because they're in the same place. Maybe, I don't know. Is that too much? I'm sorry.
I think Aralthator might be in a different place.
Oh, that's fair.
You never know.
Bad place for a frost dragon to be.
You can definitely have drawn. There would have been time, and you totally would have done it to draw your Frostheart.
Cool.
Or not Frostheart. What's the other one?
Glacial.
Glacial, the Cloud Chaser.
Do you want me to make a roll for that?
Sure.
Alright. I'm going to use an inspiration because of course I am.
Do it. a good use of an inspiration.
I swear I used like all of my inspiration, but now I'm back up to 3 out of 3, and I don't remember getting it.
Okay, then.
Wait, we can have more than one inspiration?
Typically no, but a house rule, yes.
How do I mark that?
Yeah, you don't. Like, I
I
started...
added a
Oh,
separate
okay.
little thing on my sheet under like the tracked abilities so that I could mark it up to 3.
Doug, did you take the Brussels sprouts?
And I turned off the oven.
Oh,
So what did you want me to do, Dad?
let's see. I don't know what skill you're rolling, but I think drawing a dragon when it's dead is fine. DC is going to be 14 for a good quality.
All right, and what about my inspiration? Because I don't remember getting more inspiration. So should I
We'll
just
say you're at 2, and if you spend 1, you'll be at 1.
Okay, I will be at 1 then.
And I will make a note in my session notes in order to...
And I'm sorry, what roll did you say it was?
I don't know. What have you been rolling?
I think I've been rolling sleight of hand for drawing, but
I'm fine for you to roll anything. You can roll Arcana, you can roll Sleight of Hand, you can roll whatever you think would justify it.
I think I'll do Arcana. 23.
Alright, that is an exceptional quality Frosty Dragon. You can have whatever pose you want, and it's... I said 14, so almost but not quite a perfect result.
Nice. Very
well, doodled.
To do next time, update everyone's sheets with inspiration resource. There we go.
Here, I can add that to Allie's the same way I have mine.
Sure.
Would I be able to use my downtime action to free Sun Caller?
Sure.
Because, you know, they're trapped in a thing, she lives in a thing. I feel like there's some overlap that she'd be able to figure out with her -1 intelligence.
Yep, I think it's
magics.
so. Here's how this works. When you make a roll, even if you fail the roll, you're going to advance that clock by 1 tick.
Nice.
So it's automatic. Just you do have to justify being able to take an action and tell me what you're rolling, and I'll give you a DC, and we'll go from there.
I think she knows that when she gets a little bit worked up, weird things tend to happen around her with her wild magic. So maybe some aspect of the wild magic seeps into the staff that they're stored in.
Okay.
It just cracks it open.
All right. What role do you think this is going to be?
Let me see. Well, I got a -1 Arcana, so that probably wouldn't be too good, huh?
It's fine. If you're how you do it's up to you. But Arcana would be more. You're doing some studies. You're cracking into some formulas. You're.
She would never deign to do that.
This is like raw intuition of forcing magic into it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. Would that just be like her charisma?
Sounds like nature, maybe, or if you wanted to do some kind of charisma thing, you could try to. Let's see. Yeah, the cool part about it is about Blades in the Dark is basically you. Where the hell is my journal? Is this it? Oh, that's because they're all up there. Drug a whole bunch of dragons in there. All right, where's your character sheet? We've got Astor.
Hello.
If you wanted to try and coax it out with charisma, then yeah, you just have to say that you have to convince everybody at the table that this is totally a legit thing and could totally happen with perception or persuasion rather.
Maybe. I feel like nature would make sense since some of her wild magic is nature themed on like the roll table.
And I think he was a druid, right? He was a druid, yeah. He was a shaman, so definitely has that natural connection. So this would be, I think the DC is going to be 15. But like I said, even if you fail, it's going to put in 1 tick, which is enough to complete the clock. So this was just kind of an exercise to show people how that system works. So go ahead and make your nature check.
I will. My -1 nature. Beep, beep. Oh, beefed it.
Beefed it.
See, but I kind of like that because even if you fail, it gets the tick, like X said, and it is, her not having control over it and just literally shoving magic at it and hoping it works. So, like, it's so close to being done that was enough.
Yeah, it tips the scales enough to where his soul has been freed, and when you do, like, there were all these skulls that were attached to the Staff of Withering, and when you do this, the light in those in his skull go out, and the skull detaches from the staff. So yeah, if you want to describe that scene, any extra bits, you go right ahead.
Well, if they have it with them on the boat, and this is just what they're doing on like the boat home, I think she'd be up on like the main deck in the brisk air, and one of the wild magic effects is that the entire area becomes instantly overgrown with like vines and flowers and becomes difficult terrain. So I'm thinking she's just trying, like she's holding the staff and she's just like kind of cracking her lamp into it a little bit just to see if that helps. She's like, they're both magic, right?
Sure.
So maybe it's like a sphere of influence kind of thing. But maybe the ambient arcane energy in the flowers and the overgrowth around her just seeps into this druid soul and is enough to enable it to break free. And suddenly cool. a lot it smells like, fresh cut grass on the deck in the bitter cold. For a second people are like, what?
A lot of the crew has never smelled fresh cut grass before. Like, that's just not a thing up here.
Right, exactly.
But anybody from further down south definitely knows what that smell is. Very nice. Cool little scene. I'll give you an inspiration for that.
Very cool.
Thanks.
All right.
Skull falls off. You're just like, oh, sun god, no.
Isn't that what you wanted? I kind of thought a man would pop out, but I guess not. Sorry.
It's his soul. It wasn't Suncaller himself. It was.
She did not know that.
You broke Suncaller.
She just shakes her head.
But no, Kobis is pleased. From the Staff of Withering. I'll go ahead and ping Horus. Ask her with her downtime. What would everybody else like to do with their downtime actions? Doesn't have to be on the boat. We can flash back, forward, whatever.
If Kaylee has something, she can go first. Otherwise, I'm probably going to do something like start forming the mercenary company. Just try to chip away at that a little bit when they get back to land, now that he has his lieutenants in place.
Mm-hmm.
Or his one chief lieutenant that I still haven't determined outside of possible candidates in the future.
It could be Taisho, could be Cyanrath.
So Cyanrath is definitely... I really like that story thread.
Okay.
I just don't know, based on where we landed with that, if that's already happening or if that was something that was going to happen in the future.
We could do a little cutscene about some things that are happening with him right now to set it up.
That sounds cool.
So, if that's the direction we're going, then this is kind of what's happened. He went back, dug up his dead future wife, and got a powerful cleric involved and was able to resurrect her.
Ooh.
And this is like he's already made up his mind to leave the cult. They left him to rot in the jail, and it wasn't them that had they didn't come seeking him. It was like the good guy saying, "Hey, we captured one of your lieutenants, and you captured one of ours. Let's trade them." So the cult just left him to die after he had given them everything. He gave his loved one, so he's out. So he goes and he gets Fulan Mundath resurrected, and he's trying to convince her this is the cult's no good, that they don't care about us, but she is such a diehard fanatic. She calls him a fool, and they break up. So now he's lost everything, and he's just...
Oh.
I think you... Where he is and where he was, like... Where he was and where you guys want him to go, I think it has to happen like that. Like,
I was a different man!
Jackie Daytona. Andrew, go to Cyanrath.
He, I think you have to break someone like that down, otherwise they're like he's lawful evil, and he was and he like used to support the cult, but he has no reason to really like go after the cult, but now I feel like he does. So
I think that's cool.
So
of course it's sad, but it's poignant and powerful.
So what's going to happen with him is he's going to start organizing troops and things against the cult, and you guys are going to catch wind of that. Probably not this time around, but the next council meeting. You're going to just catch wind that Cyanrath's been really being a thorn in the side of independently of the Cult of the Dragon. So he's been attacking them and protecting people and stuff like that.
So at whatever point we do hear about that, Yuri would certainly take interest and probably take steps to establish contact, like send out some of his mercenaries or like a sub-lieutenant or something like that to just feel out the situation, send in a message, see if they're willing to meet or get some sort of communication line established to enable that possibility in the future. Or finding out where they are to go and meet them directly or something like that.
All right, I've added up a new clock here, convince Cyanrath to join. I've given it 6 ticks to fill in. Ooh, what you got, Lori?
She's downstairs.
Yeah, but she messaged me on Discord through the magic of technology.
I thought you meant like she was handing you something, and I was like, who's gonna tell him?
There's actually 2 Loris. There's twins. We just keep one in the closet for emergencies. That's how she does so much awesome stuff.
That really does sound like the only possibility. Lori's Atlas holding that up.
Speaking of which, now that you have the Farseer of Ilisk repaired, I think one of the first things Kyla would do is check out the lair of Vorag Hamonthar.
That would be very smart. And I was just about to say that is exactly what I was thinking. I'm kidding. That's really exciting.
And one thing that just makes your jaw drop is there are actually 2 black dragons in that lair, and they are twin brothers. And the reason why he's the fastest dragon and has been seen in like almost 2 places at once is because he was in 2 places at once.
Oh my god!
Son of a gun!
That little...
Not gonna lie, he had us.
Yes. Who's gonna question it, huh? I'm a giant black dragon. Nobody's gonna question it.
And if they question it, I'll just kill him, and that problem pretty much take care of itself.
Wait, but do they have different names, or it's one of them Vorag and the other is Hamonthar?
They just both go as Vorag Hamonthar.
That's epic.
That's pretty great.
You know what sucks though is that if an adventurer gives one of them a scar, the other one has to do the same thing.
Yeah, they gotta heal it up, but there's not many scars received when you go in there expecting to fight one black dragon and you find 2.
Yeah, that
Adult black
encounter
dragon.
seems like more of a problem now.
Breath weapon 1, breath weapon 2, combat over.
Oh god.
But do the breath weapons recharge? That's 2d6.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, that is unfortunate.
That makes more sense why he wanted both statues before.
Mm-hmm.
Now they can both have the same statue.
But what if we can turn them against each other using their own vanity?
I'll put a clock up here if you want.
Well, we have this other statue, I know your secret, I'm aware of this.
And that because Resmir knew that secret, that's how she was able to use the Farseer and knew that secret. And so she was able to kind of blackmail him into joining the cult. But their relationship wasn't great. But since she knew, he had to kind of play along a bit. Don't get me wrong; they're still evil bastards and greedy and all the negative things that dragons are. So,
well,
I see.
Maybe that's something we can bring to the Dragon Council. They might have something to say or offer. Although, I guess if we tell people about that right away, we'd lose any kind of blackmail leverage.
Yep.
But if we want them dealt with, then a whole group of dragons might help. But they're probably old and complacent and like, oh no, I'm not sticking my neck out there. You're adventurers. No one but these mighty adventurers could possibly topple such a foe.
Such
and
foes.
Swoop in after we're dead to finish them off. That's what I'd do if I were a dragon.
I'll take a share of that loot.
The Horde grows!
So.
It's dragon investing.
Oh.
I've been sitting on that secret for a while.
That's fun. I like that. Thank you for sharing.
So for my downtime activity, I was thinking about going into the Harper archives once we reach the city and researching what we would have to do to purify Hazaron and starting that process of just first figuring out what we have to do.
All right. So a couple of things. Aster's devil contact offers to just do it. He catches wind of this somehow. Maybe Aster shares this with him. But he lets Aster know that he can just purify that sword, take out the sentience, and just give the weapon back to you. Let's look up what Hazaron does.
Is there any way to keep the sentience, but instead make it lawful good? Or any good alignment, really?
Where is... this is a +2 greatsword. It has spells, detect magic, detect evil and good, detect thoughts. And it has wounding. While you're attuned to the weapon, any creature that you hit with it can't regain hit points for 1 minute. The target can make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect. So, it's a sentient, neutral evil greatsword capable of speech in common and nether ease. And it deals an extra 2d6 necrotic damage. It's a... Necrotic is a little bit tied to evil.
We could, convert it to radiant, maybe?
I think that would be 2 separate clocks. One to get rid of the sentience, and then one to...
Well, I don't want to get
convert it
rid of
over.
the sentience if possible. I just would like to change its alignment, pretty much. I'm not sure how possible that is. I don't know much about sentient magic weapons. Magic items.
You want to brainwash the item to be good instead of evil.
Pretty much.
It's a pretty neutral thing to do. I like it.
That might be possible. Another thing right now, is anybody interested in using this sword? Because Astra already has a different sword of wounding that does a different thing.
Sorry guys, Allie needs 1 second.
Just
Her
a
laptop died and she just plugged it back in so she can't hear you.
I thought I had more time. I'm so sorry.
I thought there was time.
It's his time. It's running out. So they were asking if Aster had any interest in wielding this sword if it is purified.
Has she met this sword?
I think so. It was at the. It was at
She'd use
the
it cursed.
What's that now?
I said she'd use it cursed.
Fair point. I know Yuri would not, just because his whole thing is unarmed weapons, so he's not gonna use any kind of weapon.
Honestly, she really likes her setup she has currently.
Mhm.
As far as sword.
So I only bring it up.
We could just throw it into the sea.
Yeah, I only bring it up, Kaylee, because of if you did purify it, nobody wanted to use it. And you spent multiple downtime actions over multiple sessions getting that. You're like, oh, well, what the crap?
I think that Taisho might actually be a really good character to wield it.
Mm-hmm. He would be.
So if we still have him with our party, then that might be cool.
Yep. That was another thing I wanted to do. Is when you guys go up to the Dragon Counselor, or whenever you're leaving, you can pick which party member you want to be with you.
I would probably keep Taisho.
Okay.
Ugg is a cool character, and he's a good meat shield, but Aster is a barbarian, so I feel like that part of the party has been filled, and Taisho just has a lot of utility stuff that we wouldn't have access to otherwise, and is, of course, a more fleshed out and interesting character with backstory and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A greater tie in some ways.
Yep. There's also Iya, who is more focused on healing instead of kind of fighting and healing like Taisho is. Mm-hmm. But again, if you guys want Taisho, it's 100% cool. I just bring it up because we probably forgot about Iya.
Yeah. There might also be times where it's cool to bring Ugg back if he's going to have an interaction with an NPC or something new.
Mm-hmm. Another thing, Kayla, you told me you wanted to do was research Tiamat. I think that's going to be an 8-point clock. But I'm not saying you have to do that now. I'm just going to put it on there. But yeah, if you're wanting to try to convert the sword to good, then probably what would happen is it would be two things. Like, convince the sword to be good. That's one thing. And then if it's good and it's doing necrotic wounding damage, it's going to hate itself and it's not going to allow itself to be used. So it's going to be resisting attacking things until it's doing radiant damage. So it would be two separate big clocks that would... How many? It'd be two separate 8-tick clocks to do that. So it'd be a pretty big investment, but it's totally doable.
Sounds good. I'll be right back.
You would have to convince it to be good first before switching out the radiant damage.
Aster corrupted by Lord Volmer.
What about it?
25% of the way there.
I wouldn't worry about it.
It's just buffering. Don't worry about it.
I got some ideas for that. I can tell you what they are, or we can just leave it as a surprise.
I could be surprised.
All right. It's not a good thing, I'll tell you that.
No.
But you're going to keep control of your character.
Spend a coin to make it go down.
Mm.
I found this really expensive salve. Like a lotion you rub on your hands and it makes demons go away.
Great.
Where's Jackie?
Jackie is playing Pathfinder today.
Boo.
But she's having a really good time.
Great. I'm happy for her, I guess.
Pathfinder is something I would like to experience. I just don't have the energy to put into learning it right now.
Pathfinder for Savage Worlds.
Yeah, the what do you call it? If you have the right group, Pathfinder's fine, but it really suffers from big power gaps between someone who's min-maxing and someone who's not, like at a level where it's just everybody else is a sidekick following this one guy around who's doing like 200 points of damage per round.
Right. And I'm somewhat familiar with like 1E Pathfinder, which is like closer to crunchier D&D,
Mm-hmm.
but I know 2nd edition came out and it changed some things. I don't know how much. But I've enjoyed I don't know. I'm the type of player who tries to create a useful character of that archetype. Like, I'm not the type who will make a paladin and be like, but I'm not giving him strength, constitution, or charisma. Because then you're just playing a bad character. That's going to mechanically, be tougher to play in a game.
It's a boat anchor that's dragging the rest of the party down.
Right. So, like, I understand, giving your characters flaws in roleplay, but, like, don't make them just a worse character because it'll make everybody else punished. But I also try not to, power game min-max to the point where it's overly optimized and the character doesn't make sense, just because I think that unbalances stuff, even if it's fun mathematically. Or having to come up with an RP reason why this character exists in the first place.
You back yet, Kaylee? All right. Let's switch over to you, Doug. What would you like to do with your downtime activity?
Okay. I think for this one, I would like him to invest time in just starting to build up the mercenary company itself. Because he's got, the basic leadership structure, at least as placeholders to go out and start recruiting people. He can begin taking at least a temporary or active role in making appearances in a couple of places to try to get people to join up that way too, doing screenings and getting the word out.
Mm-hmm.
So to just start building up forces so that, we can have that ready for the future, and so that if he does try to bring Cyanrath into the fold, he can be like, hey, look, we already have some stuff going on. It's not like it's from the ground up.
Yeah.
But if he's got troops too, then maybe they would kind of fold into that as well.
Well, the Defiant Dawn definitely has a lot of popularity right now. You're kind of you're in a lot of tavern stories. You're in a lot of speak between the peasants about these heroic adventures. So whatever role you get, you're going to do it at advantage. Sussing out useful people from farmers that are just tired of cutting wheat and just don't want to, and they want the easy life of an adventurer. That's going to be, I'd say, probably DC 13. And what kind of role would you like this to be?
I don't know. Yuri is personable, but he's not the best judge of external character. So I feel like, and he also doesn't want to turn away those farmers, right? Like, he was somebody who was taken against his will and put into gladiatorial pits and was trained in a gladiatorial school, which, didn't assume that you already knew what you were doing, and it wasn't formal military training. So, like, in some ways, Yuri himself is not prepared for this. Like, he's a solo fighter, he does his own thing, but he has no formal military training. So I think he probably would just be like, come on in, we'll show you the ropes, and it's going to be more like a ragtag unit of a bunch of people that maybe don't always work well together, that, just run around and smash things.
Scrappers.
Yeah.
So
maybe Cyanrath can help with that in the future, but
he's going to come in. What did you do?
it's like, comes in, the room's on fire, he's holding a pizza. Like, what?
So if you're wanting to roll something you're bad at, maybe insight, or if you're want to roll something you're good at, like persuasion, then maybe we'll let you do that. But there's also going to be the drawback that the starting level of these troops is going to be green instead of like regular.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more in line with his character. Is he's trying to inspire people, right? He had people to look up to when he was in a bad place, and now he wants to be somebody that other people can look up to give them hope and strength, and to make them believe in something greater, or give them the motivation to go out and make that change.
All right.
So I think he would probably prefer starting with greener troops who don't know what they're doing, and then, build up from there. And as bad as weird and twisted as this is, I don't think he would be as concerned with, these people are farmers, they don't know what they're doing, they're going to get killed. And he's just like, well, if they're believing in themselves enough to come here and give it a try, we're going to do our best to enable them. And you know what? Everybody's got their own story, and I'm not saying everybody can be a legend.
Yep.
But we're not going to police them and be like, oh no, you're not cut out for this. You're not good enough to do this.
Everybody's welcome. Come on.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's his MO.
All right. So, yeah, with that in mind, I was thinking it's not going to be hard. DC 12, I guess.
Okay.
And you get to roll performance or persuasion, same number, and it's done at advantage. So, cool. Lots of ticks in this clock. I'm thinking.
Oof. Well, I got a 13, but can I luck it and try to get something higher?
Yes, you can.
All right. And were we back at 3 luck?
Yep, we're back at 3 luck, so.
Okay, well, I'll go back down to 2 luck. Don't crit fail. That's better.
Woo. Heck yeah. The ranks swell. So we got a failure, a success, 1722. So you have halfway filled in this mercenary company clock.
Excellent.
So yeah, people come out in droves and the ranks swell, and you're like, this is easy. Why doesn't everybody raise a mercenary company? But as some of the training and stuff goes on, people aren't holding their swords right. They're easily disarmed in some cases. The arrows are going wide, and maybe someone gets hit with a stray arrow. The discipline of these people definitely is low, but it is shaping up. Would you like to describe any part of the scene that Yuri partakes in?
Yeah, I think what you just said is very accurate. This is like the beginning of the let's get down to business training montage from Mulan, where everybody's just
hot
falling
garbage
over each other. Yeah, hot garbage, stumbling, can't hit the broadside of a barn. Can't work well together, doesn't know terminology, doesn't have basic fundamentals. So we just see Yuri sort of surveying these scenes of chaos with a concerned expression, but then his heart hardens again, and he steals his resolve and pulls together his lieutenants, and we get a few shots of him being like, okay, so this is what we're going to do now. We need to make sure everyone knows, proper positioning and proper posture, and start from the bottom and start to work your way up. And he'll give them direction and try to actually get them to drill down and do more fundamentals to give everybody more of a baseline to work up from. He's not sending them out to do actual jobs yet. He's going to fund this out of his pocket to begin and make sure everybody's at a better spot.
Yeah, so this is you're about halfway done with forming the mercenary company. So you do start to see some fruits of your labor. Every once in a while, people are hitting the targets, and you walk by somebody, and their armor is just on correct. Like all the straps are at the right tension, and everything's sitting right on them, and you just start noticing just like a couple little things like that. You definitely don't want to throw them into battle, but things are starting to shape up a bit.
Excellent. Yuri feels a small swell of pride and knows he's made the right decision.
So, Aster, you did yours. Kaylee?
I was doing research.
All right, so if you're wanting to do the sword thing, then there's two things. You can, if you're wanting to go the good route, then you're going to have to convert the sword over to good first. And that's going to be an 8-point clock. And then converting the sword's necromantic over to radiant damage is going to be another 8. But you just got to tell me how you're going to do that. And Aster, I didn't know if you wanted to offer to rip out the evil sentience.
And how big is the researching Tiamat clock?
That is also an 8-point clock.
Might want to start on that instead, since that's slightly higher priority.
Okay.
I don't think Aster is too concerned about an evil sentience, because, isn't evil just, a state of mind?
It's, good but different.
I'm sure if we just talked to it, it would have good ideas with some modification.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to pull out the sword and have a conversation with it every once in a while. Last time it was very displeased that it ran into a bunch of jokers like you.
That's a shame.
So yeah, how would you like to? You definitely have that Harper class feature thing, so you will. You can make this roll at advantage, Kaylee. Some of the stuff you're trying to figure out though is really kind of difficult, because there's not a lot of concrete data on Tiamat other than she was a god and the last time she was here was millennia and millennia ago. So the archives are pretty old and out of date.
Yeah, the only out of character thing I know is that aside from the 5 heads, obviously, she and Bahamut were actually part of the same dragon called Io that split into Tiamat and Bahamut. And so they're technically brother and sister?
Yeah, pretty much when you fill up this clock, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the stat block for Tiamat. You could just look that up on your own. I just asked that you don't.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. Unless I'm throwing that at my players.
And then the other thing I'm going to do is point out some things you can do to take out some of her resistances and reduce some of her hit points. And there's things we can do in the adventures in the days to come in order to offset some of her awesomeness, because out of the gate she would be a fight that could probably easily kill a party of your level when you're ready to fight her.
Oh
no. Yeah, she's like challenge rating 30 at least.
Yeah, it's pretty
that
crazy.
That sounds fine. I don't know what challenge rating means.
So
that sign can't stop me because I can't read.
You don't know what challenge rating is?
I mean, I know what. Like, I just don't know the tiers and their different readings. Challenge rating 30 sounds bad. I have no.
This is the strongest enemy that you will fight, basically.
Basically, challenge rating 30 means she would be an adequate fight for a level 30 party.
Nope.
Of 4 people.
Well, yes, we just need some more people in the party.
There we go.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, action economy, baby. We just need to stand. Everyone stand 360-degree perimeter. She can't hit all of us with her breath, probably.
She's got a lot of heads.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Listen, she's got 5 heads for 4 cardinal directions.
So, do you want to make a roll for me, kiddo? We'll say it's a DC 15, but because you're using the Harper archives, you get to roll at advantage.
Alright, and is it Arcana or History? Or
It's whatever roll you want to make. What you make and how you approach it is kind of is the decision of the player.
Alright, I think she's going to go with History. I think that makes a little bit more sense here.
Okay.
Going to be looking more into previous times that Tiamat has come to the material plane.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, try to see if she can gather any similarities from those times or what circumstances she appeared in, stuff like that. 20.
20. All right. So, we got failure, success with 1 raise. So we have filled in 3 clocks, or 3 sections of the clock.
Nice.
5 to go. Last bit of business for downtime activities. The ship, by default, is out there trying to make coins, but if you want, you can use it to try and advance another one of these clocks.
There are a lot of clocks.
There are. It could help with the mercenary company. They could help build the docks. They could... they can help with anything if you can spin the story and tell me things. While you guys are thinking about that, Kaylee, would you like to describe part of the scene that happens with your downtime activity?
Yeah, I imagine she goes to the Harper archives, and I'm assuming it's just like a very large library.
Okay.
And she just takes some of the books and some of the scrolls
and she keeps taking them back to a table to study them, and she's like, oh, this one might help, this one might help. But she ends up getting way too many books.
So there's just like a towering stack of books.
Yeah,
Nice.
but she still gets to find some useful information, for sure, but I think she just ended up taking too much to be able to look through everything thoroughly, which is why I think she missed maybe a few details.
Very good, very good. Yeah, there's a few rules in the archives. No open flames. All light sources are magic based and incapable of setting the setting the books on fire, so there aren't any accidents. You do have an assistant that helps you find the books that you need and helps put the books back when you're done with them. And she makes a note of you spend several days doing this, and she makes a note of where you were and how you might proceed when you come back.
Nice.
There's a ship mission to make coin, or it can try to advance one of these other clocks if you think those are important. And that's kind of a party decision, not just...
Let's see. Is there any way they could help form the mercenary company? Like, could they possibly start looking for more experienced people
Yeah.
to help with keeping, or not really keeping people in line, but just training people?
I think we do.
helping out that way?
Yeah, I think we probably are going to need some military professionals or people who are used to leading groups of combatants in, if not formal warfare, then, just small groups. Yuri's only experience was, hey, follow me, we're getting out of here.
Punch him in the face! And then he punches them in the face.
Hit them harder! Hit them harder and more often!
Yeah, that's something the ship can do. It can... pretty much what it gives you is it gives you another roll that you can make. But I could see it going up and down the coast and having some of your lieutenants go around and interviewing other people instead of just here in Waterdeep, and trying to get more experienced troops for the cause. But you tell me what you want for your what role you would like to make.
Is this targeted at one person or just the group as a whole? Or?
Somebody has to make a role. It doesn't have to be your character. You can use any of your attributes on your character to just say, hey, we have somebody that's trained up to our level, so they can go and handle this for us. So somebody needs to make some kind of role at DC 14. And you just got to sell it and tell me, no, I'm totally using sleight of hand for this because we're stealing the... I don't know. But everybody at the table has to go, yeah, that's plausible. And if that's a thing, then if you get that buy-in, then you can make whatever role you want.
And we're specifically trying to find more people for the mercenary company to help them train up?
That was Kaylee's idea.
Okay.
To work more on that clock.
I'm cool with that idea if everybody else is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I started nodding and then realized that
Well, maybe it's if it's a matter of finding the right people, then it's more of a networking. What do you guys think? That could fall under persuasion or maybe investigation.
It sounds like if you're wanting to determine like some higher tier people, then investigation or insight might be a good thing. If anybody has good roles in either of those.
I will not be helpful with either of those things. which is why Yuri is failing at this sort of in the first place. Does Kyla have any good insider investigation?
Let me check.
I'll check Kobis. Let me see here.
Let's see. Investigation is a 2, insight is a 1, so not really.
Kobis has a 4 insight.
Ooh. That's funny.
Yeah, let's see. Let's check out Taisho. He's got a military background, it sounds like.
Yeah, he's got Insight 5 and military background.
Yeah, maybe Taisho with his, because he's older and he's got more connections, and he's more battle-hardened and has served in warfare in the past, he would have some old acquaintances that he could introduce us to or pull back into the fold.
I like that.
Alright, well, here goes. Oh, man, he has great insight.
Wow!
Okay. The mercenary company is formed. So, normal...
Taisho's just standing next to Yuri like, I know some people to get in for this.
Can I just offer some advice? Maybe we should do this, and I know some people. And
I suppose.
so, failure, success with 1 raise, success with 2 raises, and a crit. Is there anything special you want to happen with the crit?
Well, if we're looking for... I can think that maybe it's somebody with greater prestige that would either have a... Allie looks like she has an idea.
What if they're just like the coolest ex-pirate turned privateer?
They could be.
Just like a figure of presence and charisma. I don't know who they would be.
I mean, that could be cool, especially if we're going to end up trying to tie this to the shipping business more. And we just get our own fleet of people. It could be wider acclaim, like more people here. Like we're hiring all these executive mercenaries, so people are
word of mouth
hearing about it more.
Where did that mercenary troop go? Where did all of our mercenary troops go? Someone up north's hiring them. I don't know.
What do you think, Kaylee?
So just talking about finishing the mercenary company. Sorry, my mom came in for a second.
Yeah, and Taisho got a crit. I was asking if there was anything special you wanted with that crit.
Maybe we could have like a more experienced military professional there, like an NPC that one of us can make. I have an idea or two.
Okay, that sounds like it could be cool.
All right, maybe we'll put this on the back burner and you guys can flesh out some ideas. I'll put that on the session notes to do next time. Taisho. Crit succeeded. Mercenary company. Do you want me to fill in 1 pip of convince Cyanrath to join? Maybe
that could be cool if it's just like
as an extra.
Yeah, like if he's just starting to hear more about it, and if word is getting out, then maybe word reaches him, and it's just a nice little intro before an intro. Yeah,
one of the things that happened was you had like even a tick left over, so I just wanted to put it somewhere, and I think that makes sense. Cyanrath starts hearing about you guys, and he thinks about it, but he's like, that's not possible. They wouldn't have me. All right. I think that's it for downtime activities. If you guys think this is a good spot for a break before we head back to the Waterdeep Council.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. We will be right back, folks.
Be right back.
I'm back. Go ahead and start the stream back up.
That's fine. Alice, just now returning, I think.
Sorry, I forgot to take my allergy meds.
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh, babe, she's gone.
I was like, why am I so sniffly? That's why.
I woke up so sniffly this morning.
Ooh.
Probably from the fireplace.
Probably I need to get the pot on top for water.
Allie is back.
Hello.
I thought I had a picture of the outside of this. Maybe it was a handout, but that's what it was. Just to remind you where we're at. Maybe.
Oh my god.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm playing RimWorld while we're waiting, and I'm playing on the hardest difficulty. And I just got raided. Well, one of my colonists is dazed, another one of them is injured, and you know how it is.
Heck, I got this game called Rogue Book. Have you heard of that yet?
Yeah. I saw you playing it a couple of times.
Yeah, it's like a Slay the Spire clone. It's got a couple of cool, unique mechanics. One of the biggest changes is that there are 4 characters to pick from, but every run you pick 2 characters, like a primary and a secondary.
Ooh.
And then they share a deck made up from cards, and they share points and blocking and stuff every turn.
That's a cool mechanic. We have this. What's the name of that game, kiddo? Where you have two decks?
Monster Train?
What'd you say?
Monster Train?
Monster Train? No, it's a board game, tabletop game. And Mashup?
Smash up.
Smash Up. So yeah, like they have different decks. So like one deck might be dinosaurs, one deck might be orcs, one deck might be robots, and then like the robots and stuff synergize with themselves a little bit, and then the dinosaurs synergize with themselves a little bit. But then there's also these subtle interactions between the decks. So if you're robot dinosaurs, then you'll be able to do some interesting things. And like the zombie orcs also has some neat stuff. And basically, they're just at the start of the game, you get dealt random cards to see which 2 factions you smash up together, and it's pretty neat. That kind of reminds me of what you were talking about.
This game also has positioning mechanics where, like, you know, one will be in front, one will be back. So the front is melee and the back is ranged, and some cards have different effects depending on if it's melee or ranged, and you can socket cards with gems to give it different effects and customize it more. And
that sounds like right up my alley.
It's pretty cool.
So you can socket too.
And there's instead of there just being like a track map where, you know, in Slay the Spire, it's like, okay, I'm going to click one of these things to go to the next floor. There's actually like a hex-based grid map that is mostly covered in like a fog of war, and then you collect paints and inks that you can use to reveal spaces that you can then walk through, and they might have items or encounters on them. So it's kind of like a little bit of a world map board game too.
Neat. Sounds cool. What was the name of that again?
It's called Rogue Book.
Rogue Book.
I'll finish.
I'll have to check that out. All right, so eventually you guys make it back to the Council of Waterdeep. Outside, there's the banner snapping in the wind. At this point, the like anytime like a contingent of other nobles are visiting, then typically they would hang their battle standards out on across the walls just to signify that they're there. They've been here for a while now, and it's a common sight. You don't see any new. Pretty much everybody who's anybody has been here, and like those standards have been hanging on the side of the wall for a while now. Once you get back in, again, there's like some bickering and arguing. You hear a little bit about things that are happening across the realm, But one thing has changed. Dagult Neverember is no longer the Open Lord of Waterdeep. That now is from Laral Silverhand. And I didn't write down why the heck that happened, but give me 1 second. I'll find out.
Seems important.
How often does it change the Open Lord?
Not very often. So something serious has gone down, and I can't remember what it was.
I bet it's a Moida.
She's one of the 7 sisters, legendary nigh immortal figures, known to have been blessed by Mistra. Her spellcasting ability is impressive, but is beginning to wane, and she focuses more on political power. What else is going on?
Oh, also, here's your daily reminder that Sileria, Dragon Breast, is definitely an evil silver dragon.
An evil silver
evil
dragon. Okay.
Why
It's
is
good.
she evil?
It's good to
Just
know.
because of her portrait looks kind of shady.
No, she's like encouraging us to go out to the far reaches of the Sword Coast, way far away from the Council War. No one will be able to contact us. She was the one that encouraged us to do so. After the whole Green Dragon situation, I'm very paranoid about people doing that. So I think she might have sent us away so she could do some shady business in the Council without us questioning it.
I don't know. I think if there's any evil characters that we need to be watching out for, it's Haynes. And she did leave him in charge.
He's in
Oh,
charge.
that's a good point.
Yeah. Who knows what horrible things he's getting up to.
Who knows?
All right. First section 7, making her the leader of the Lord. Wait, okay.
Please put in a news article somewhere. Burdusk is the best it's ever been.
Crime is at an all-time low because it's all now legal. The Masked Lord of Waterdeep chose her as a successor to Dagult Neverember between the first and second sessions of the Council of Waterdeep, making her the leader of the Lord's Alliance. But why? It just says they chose her. Laurel Silverhand brings centuries of leadership experience and an impressive reputation to the negotiations. A consummate diplomat, she can wield words that wound or soothe with equal ease. As the Open Lord of Waterdeep, she holds great sway with all the delegates except Dagult Neverember, who believes that she engineered his removal from the position. So there's a little bad blood between those two.
So who is the Open Lord now?
Lady Laral Silverhand. Are you guys on this? Yeah, okay.
More silver.
More silver. Silver. She's a silver dragon too, and probably Sir Estavil's a dragon, and
He's not cool enough to be a dragon.
King Melindrak, definitely a dragon.
Absolutely. No
Alright.
question.
So this is the Council of Dragons you were telling us about, right?
This is the Council of Waterdeep.
I'm just goofing.
Sorry, I didn't catch it because I'm searching for some notes.
My delivery was a little drier than I meant it to be, too.
Strong and decisive, Dagult acts always for the good of his subjects and realm, and in doing so has consistently built up his own power and wealth. Unfortunately for him, the Masked Lords of Waterdeep have recently chosen to replace him as Open Lord. Silverhand is his successor, claimed her title in the second council meeting. Okay. It doesn't really say why this has happened. It doesn't seem super important. I guess they just wanted to show that the world is changing while you guys are off doing stuff.
So he thinks there's a plot or conspiracy, but it's not something we're really meant to investigate at all.
Yeah. And
What a strange choice.
and he's like, he's a wise enough leader to know, hey, bickering and arguing about this at this time isn't important. So he's still going to support the council and all that fun stuff. So anyway, and then there's another new face, or new to the council at least. This was the silver-haired lady that was hanging out with Lightbringer at your wedding.
Ooh.
Her name is Elia.
Elia.
So overall, the Dragon Cult has ramped up its activities. The Drakhorn has sounded on a seemingly regular interval about once a month. And what else? I think that's pretty much it as far as info dump. So you guys get to talk about what you did. And where is the GM only council scorecard that I totally just share with players?
What a treat.
All right, so you guys come back. We already did kind of a recap at the beginning, but I assume you guys are going to just share everything that you did up there. I don't think there's anything extra that you want to keep hidden from this council yet.
Not really. Except that we found out that Vorg Kamanthar was 2 dragons. We do not want to tell them that.
Right.
Vorg and Kamanthar.
So, you get to the point where you tell them you've brought back Makoth the Crimson. She says in a flat monotone how great heroes you were. You also brought back the spell books and things that were stolen from the Arcane Brotherhood, and the Arcane Brotherhood are totally down for being inside the Lord. Oh God, what did I do? Shit.
Control Z.
Oh, can I do Control Z? I can. Okay. All right. No. I need the GM. I'm on the GM. I'm on the background there. That makes sense. Okay. So when the Arcane Brotherhood joins the Alliance, bloop.
Always Sir Istobal. I'm sorry to interrupt, but Sir Istobal needs to just suck it up and deal with it. He's always like, I don't like what you guys... Then do it yourself.
Oh, wait, you can't. You'll get captured.
Oh!
Got him.
Alright, so on Tarfroom, you guys... he's joining the Arcane Brotherhood representative says that they will pledge wizards and other things to support the upcoming battle, and Untharfroom cautions against that. And he says the Arcane Brotherhood does not police its members and what kinds of knowledge they pursue, and they tolerate many evil wizards in their ranks. We shouldn't allow them into this into this alliance. And Sir Estival agrees with Onthar. I must agree with my honorable compatriot. Joining forces with wizards who make deals with demons and devils is foolish. What's to stop them from turning on us at a critical moment?
What do you mean? Racism is completely trustworthy.
Now hold on. What were you saying, Esther?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Now hold on a minute. Not all devils are bad, right?
They're just like lawyers, you know?
Very friendly, happy to talk, happy to make deals.
Rate hourly.
Yeah, and but yeah, there's in general, like the people at the across the council are just super happy that they're here because they're going to bring a lot of arcane power, and dealing with dragons is something that they're going to help offer or help bring to the table. You get to the point in the story where you've killed Orathator, and at first the Harpers are displeased that you didn't get any information from the dragon. But since you have those big, those archives of the his entire life, they are 100% fine. Let's see. The dwarf is thrilled that you've killed this dragon because it had on occasion raided some dwarven holds and dwarven caravans.
Oh, so they wanted us to bring a dragon to dwarf court?
No. They're thrilled that you killed him.
Now I remember this dwarf guy was like, If you see any people that have wronged our dwarven culture, you bring them to us for dwarf law.
Yeah, that was because you killed Verum. That was that little.
Maybe you shouldn't have been in a cult, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fine. You're not going to make everybody happy.
Yep.
What's that, Sir Esteval? Complaining again?
No, I just think we should have
person.
taken him prisoner.
There's always gotta be that one.
Yeah.
I can't hear it over the sound of us having saved your life.
Listen, everybody was on board with keeping possession of Skyreach Castle.
I guess.
Yep. Though they think it should probably be assigned to one of them instead of the adventuring party.
No.
But let's see. Yeah, Sir Istavil says, it doesn't sound like you even tried to speak with that dragon, and I fear for what Aralthator's widow is capable of, and I would not be surprised if we hear about her attacking Icewind Dale or terrorizing the coast in a fit of rage.
Kyla just said they weren't on good terms. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, other people are starting to chafe at Sir Istavel's, like, going, I didn't like this, and I don't like that. And
Is he a plant?
Ontharfroom's like, what will make you happy? And he says, I just want to do what's right by everybody, and an unhinged dragon is not something we want to deal with right now.
So an unhinged dragon and an evil spellcasting dragon, both loose, would have been better. I don't like this guy.
Yes, and surely a spellcasting dragon that can plot and plan would be better.
The only thing it's done in the past, let's see, half the century has been raid the Arcane Brotherhood, and I'm frankly okay with that.
They've also kept a tribe of people who live there as slaves.
Did you maybe forget about that, or you just didn't go and ask?
Surely your complacency, if it's been raiding the Arcane Brotherhood and taking tomes and spell knowledge, then it's using that time to accumulate more and learn more and become more powerful, so that when it does push out, it's all the more dangerous. So your complacency would allow it to grow even more powerful, to the point that we might not be able to overcome it at all. How many lives would we sacrifice then?
Referring back to the comment about the tribe that it kept under its claw, it's like that's tragic, but that's really not important right now. What is important is that we all come together and deal with this problem. If you have to make a deal and leave a tribe of how many people? 40 to save the rest of the entire world, do it. And Ontharfroom's just like shaking his head. It's like, then we'll be no better than them.
It is very easy to say what we should or should not have done sitting here in your big comfortable chairs, but in the moment it seemed like the best decision to be made. Or I don't think you would have sent our little group out to do that.
Yeah, it's like, I may sit in my comfortable chair, but I've paid my dues. And he wraps his green dragon bone cane down on the floor, and it echoes. So let's see. This went up by 2, so we're up to 3.
Out of character. One great dragon.
It's like, oh yes. He starts pulling out his various helmets. How many helmets is a cane worth?
Let's see. We went down 1 and up 1, so that stays the same. We went... Oh crap, I'm on the wrong goddamn layer.
I know
Looks
that
like
feel.
Sir Istavel's total is showing
It's
as
like-
1 for the first council, but it has 4 pluses and 2 minuses.
That's because we also killed Verum in the first council meeting.
Ah, yes. Right you are.
Right there at the table, too.
Yeah, I should.
Oh, no.
I should move these down to. Boop. There we go.
Gotcha. Very cool.
All right, trying this again. Maybe, yeah, we're on that. And now we will go for text. And now we can go here. So 1, that goes up to 3. This goes up to, stays at 5. This goes up to 6.
Mm-hmm.
Emerald Enclave. Lady Celeria. The Harpers. 7. 5. 4, 6, 6, -1.
-1. We've displeased Sir Istaville.
Well, who cares, really?
Plant.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much political power does Sir Istaville have? Like, what faction is he a part of? Lord's Alliance,
Why
right?
is he here?
He is one of the Lord's Alliance. Each of the Lords basically commands like a resource that you would want, and the ones that he controls are the Purple Dragon Knights of Cormyr, I think. A legion of elite knights that are an honorable organization. But if you're thinking he's a plant, is there anything you want to do about that right now, Aster?
She wants to talk to people smarter than her first.
Okay. That's fair.
Like, Aster knows she's not super smart. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's got a little book learning just about, like, herbs and stuff from her mom growing up, but that's about it.
I think it's perfectly reasonable for someone of low intelligence to go, maybe I should talk to somebody smarter before I jump to conclusions.
Let's talk to some big brains.
Out of character, I definitely believe that it was probably just a perspective shift that, he was traded for, and that's the only reason that he's here. But he could be a plant.
If he was with the cult,
Do you know a man named Haynes?
oh, my very best friend, Wilric Haynes.
Hang him!
Haynes was the one that brokered the deal.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
I wonder if Haynes is just like those Defiant Dawn. You can't trust them.
Wait a minute. It's all coming together. Wait, and then Sileria left him in charge because she knew that he would do that, but it all makes sense now. Sileria's totally evil. Oh my god.
Gather them. I know Zone of Truth.
Lori, you got to post that in the D&D channel. If you get a chance. Actually, I can do it. I'm a technology wizard.
Oh, she's getting it.
Okay. Cool. I'll share that with chat. Anyway, so the council meeting eventually dies down. And as a reminder, you need to get these factions up to about 5, 6, or 7 in order for them to pledge their allegiance to it. To give these... there we go. Sir Istabel. little Family Guy reference for you people. So you're actually doing really well. Keeping possession of the Skyreach Castle has definitely put you ahead of the game. What else? Yeah, pretty much the only one you're not on track with is Sir Istavel. But we'll see how that goes. So at the Second Council of Waterdeep, the adventurers see two new faces. Lord Neverember has been replaced as Open Lord of Waterdeep by Lady Laral Silverhand, who now sits at the head of the council table. Dagult now sits to her right. Next to Lady Celeria sits the silver-haired female that was at your wedding and keeping a watchful eye on Lightbringer. I got to change this name because we changed it last minute. Bloop. But she eventually requests the floor and stands in the center of the chamber. I am here representing the metallic dragons. Orignus has invoked the ancient right of Draconic Council. Representatives of the metallic dragons have been summoned to discuss what role we will take in the uncertain days to come. By ancient tradition, the council allows ambassadors from the lesser races to attend. And she gestures to the council chambers. And when she calls them lesser races, like there's various members are scoffing and outraged. The dwarf sputters in frustration. I'll show you, lesser race! But he's held back by his retinue. Elia ignores him and looks at Kyla. Lightbringer has vouched for you and the Defiant Dawn. If you accept this honor, then we should leave immediately. There's some members didn't react. They know dragons are arrogant jerks, but others are used to being noble and treated with respect at all times, so it definitely rubbed them the wrong way. But it is agreed that this is something that should be done.
Of course, we would be honored to attend.
How big do you think their chairs are?
For the dragons, pretty big.
Yes, of course we accept this great honor. Yuri also chafed at the term lesser races, but then when they were directly invited, he puffs up a little bit.
And with that, she just immediately starts walking out of the chambers without another word.
Do we follow her?
Yes, you follow me.
Oh, yep, there we go.
I'm going to.
Who do you want to bring with you as your fifth NPC?
I think Taisho, also
Okay.
because he's a Dragonborn, and that would probably endear our group a little bit more, considering we're more than 50% Dragonborn.
Everybody's related to dragons in one form or another.
Dragonborns, Dragon Scholar, Genie.
Pretty good. It's pretty
Pretty
good.
good.
You don't know she didn't come from dragons?
Is there a Dragon Genie?
Maybe.
Maybe.
All right. So she moves out into Waterdeep, and she's just very quiet, very terse. But she leads you the nearest way outside of town. And as soon as you guys are beyond the walls, do you have any questions for her along the way?
Not that I can think of, no.
So where are we going exactly?
Are you a dragon?
Yes, I am a dragon. We are going to... where the heck is it? Let me see.
Are we going to fly on you?
Yes, I will give you a ride.
Oh
my
Kyla,
gosh.
did you hear what you said? I know it's not exciting because you can fly yourself, but I can fly in small bursts, very small bursts, and not very high.
I've ridden on a dragon once before. Only one.
Yeah,
You mean because you jump?
you're going to the Nether Mountains. Oh wait, you are not here yet. Drag you over here.
Well, what is jumping but flying in very small bursts?
You got me. You're right.
It's near the north. It's near the northeast, kind of over near Silvermoon, the mountain range.
Okay.
Wait, that's the town that Lightbringer watches over.
Yep, Silvermoon is where see that big golden
Nice.
dragon.
Convenient.
And they didn't rename it Gold Moon.
Well, that's a copyrighted name.
Well, yeah, Dragonlance, TM.
And Lightbringer is just completely made up by us, so it's not on any official map. So, let's see here. Yes, I will be flying you to Nether Mountains. It's a sight that few humanoids have witnessed, and you should feel honored to be invited.
Thank you very much.
Very honored indeed. And is there anything that you need to tell us that we should know before we arrive?
She looks over you. I think Taisho's probably wearing dragon scale armor. And you're wearing the skull of a dragon on your head. Perhaps if you wish to endear yourselves to these metallic dragons, do not wear their brethren as trophies.
I thought you guys didn't like those other dragons.
We do not, but how would you feel
It's
if I had a human skull attached to my armor?
It could be cool, depending.
Yuri removes his helmet and tucks it away.
We do not feel the same way.
It's fair.
Kyla's tattoo will shift into like a small circle of the 5 scales of each of the metallic dragons
Nice.
Just so I don't
on the back of her hand.
later on, while they're flying, Yuri is going to see if he can write on her scales while they're riding her.
Yuri was here.
He just wants to see if it works first.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Just a little tiny bit.
Oh, she's
Still
You
not.
can try on Kyla's scales first. She has a few patches of scales on her arms and I think on her face.
She's so beautiful.
I love silver dragons. They're so pretty.
They look like they'd be in the ocean, you know?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, as soon as you guys get out, there are. It takes a while to walk from the center of Waterdeep all the way to the edge. Maybe half an hour to an hour to go through the crowded streets. As you do, people, the Defiant Dawn is definitely recognized, and kids follow you and they cheer when they see you, and you make it outside the edge of the town, and there's still traffic coming and going at the gates, and she pulls over to a nearby field, and her body transforms into this massive shape of this glistening silver dragon. On her back are several saddles going back along her spine, one for each of you. And and she
The saddles are just immovable rods, right?
you gonna do what? The immovable rod?
No, it won't.
You lodge it in her, it will tear out while she flies away.
It's fine.
It stays fixed at that point in space.
I'm sure her dragon magic can counteract it.
What are you doing with the immovable rod while you're flying? You're gonna activate it?
What would happen if Yuri... I'm not going to do this in the fiction because it's ridiculous.
Sure.
Hypothetically, what would happen if Yuri was sort of like air skiing behind using his ring of featherfall? Like if it is if her momentum is constantly pulling him up and then he's safely dropping 60 feet at never a velocity, is he like riding on air at that point?
Sure.
Chop this dragon.
She seems very serious and no nonsense, but
Yeah, like I said, I'm not doing that. I'm just, as a player, that's idle curiosity.
yep, that would totally be a thing.
That'd be so majestic.
Somebody's got to ride her neck and then put their arm in the air and go, yeah! You're a little heavy.
So, yeah, she lowers her wing down to the ground. People that are on the road cry out, but you feel this wash of just awe and what do they get? They get something like a bolstering courage, right, for their dragon fear. Oh no, they get frightful presence. Not in my world. They get bolstering presence.
Frightful presence can also technically be used for, just people looking at them in awe. Like, the description of frightful presence on a dragon says it can be either awe or fear. It's up to the dragon.
They're afraid of how much they admire them.
Yuri gets that all the time.
True.
But yeah, she this wash of this bolstering wash of valor and amazement and looking at this beautiful dragon take shape. The caravans and stuff, just everybody just kind of stops and stares and watches the Defiant Dawn climb up the side of her wing and climb into their saddles, and then she says, "Hold on," and then she just leaps up with her powerful legs, and you're airborne.
Is she ancient or adult?
She's ancient. She's the big boy. She's over 800 years old.
My God.
Mm-hmm.
So you start out in Waterdeep, and you're heading towards the Nether Mountains. It takes a couple of days to cross that distance. Kyla, she seems to be flying faster than a normal dragon of her size would. But and she doesn't rest. After she doesn't rest until you land. I mean, so she flies for like 16 hours a day and then rests at night. You guys have to eat on her back. And what else happens? Yeah, as you're flying over, you see just evidence of the cult almost everywhere. Burned out villages, refugees leaving, destroyed cities, things like that. And but surprisingly, there's no encounters that happened when you guys camp for the night.
Really?
What?
Does she sleep as a giant dragon, or does she become a humanoid form again?
She sleeps as a giant dragon. And she's just the experience is like just exhilarating and fun and awesome, at least for the first hour or two. But then after that, you're like, all right, I'm flying. So how much longer is it?
All right.
But eventually you make it into the Nether Mountains.
Could I ask her a question during our time traveling?
Absolutely.
Maybe it's at night before she's, settling down to get her well-earned sleep. Aster just kind of sidles over and it's like, have you ever met another genie?
Another genie.
Oh, because I am one.
You are a tiefling.
Well, I can see the confusion. I was just curious if you've met other genies.
An ancient silver dragon? Let's see. I'd say there's real good chance. Let me look up genie, and is it just Jinn?
There's 4 different types of genies, one for each element. So there's like the Afridi is fire, the Merid, I think, or water, the Tao or the earth, and the Jinn or the air.
All right. So genies, rule or be ruled.
You said you're a genie, right?
Oh yeah, Tao would make sense to be Earth.
Yeah.
We're actually learning about Taoism in school, or we just did.
Nice.
Genie, proud, sensuous genies from the elemental plane of air. Sensuous. The Jinn are attractive, tall, well-muscled humanoids. Yeah, we'll say that, yes, I have met genies before.
happen to know how they are made?
They are elemental forces created on the various elemental planes.
Uh-huh.
Why do you ask?
What, maybe I'm a little bit of a late bloomer coming into my genie magic, but I've read all the rules, and it seems pretty straightforward.
Are you trying to become a genie?
Oh no, I am one. It's fine. I have a lamp and everything. And she taps her lantern on her hip. That's where it always is.
She's in the progress of fulfilling my wishes.
She looks confused, and she doesn't know what to say to this. Like,
Strongly considers flying us back to Waterdeep.
she looks over at Kyla. When did this one join you? I don't recall Lightbringer vouching for this one.
Quite recently, we found her, indeed, in a lamp in Skyreach Castle after we defeated Rashiel, the Cloud Chaser.
And what were you saying, Allie?
I was just like, while Kyla and she are talking, Aster's just like, we spoke at the wedding. We talked at length.
Yes, of course. I think your friend may be confused. She looks at you. I think you might be confused. I don't believe you are a genie. I believe you are a tiefling, and I should probably get some rest.
Oh. Okay. Good sleeping to you then. She walks by the fire and looks into it and contemplates her entire life.
And Yuri comes over and is just like, listen, she's just a centuries-old dragon. What does she know, really?
Oh no, probably a lot.
Well, maybe, but...
I mean, I've never met a genie with a bottom half before. And she, like, clip-clops her hooves on the ground.
I've never met a genie at all. Well, except for you, of course.
I'm probably a genie.
You said you
I
were.
read the rules.
Do you have them with you? I would have liked to read those.
Well, they're in my lamp. I don't know if I can take you there
Oh.
and have you come back out.
You can now because you made another deal with the demon.
To come into my lamp.
As long as I can get back out.
Probably. Maybe another time.
Hold on.
What are you looking at? Your flaws?
I'm gonna roll my intelligence here.
Ooh!
Yeah, it sounds like, sure. Of course.
Kylo, are you good out here? Do you want to come in too?
The dragon is it's like acting like it's asleep, but it's definitely checking out what's about to happen.
Kyla, are you coming into the lamp with us?
No thank you, I'm okay.
Okay, that's fair. Could you watch the lamp for us?
Yes, of course.
Just don't wash it, because then you're rubbing it and then we'll come out. And I don't want to be a genie too.
I don't know if that's how that works, but it might be.
Well, you read the rules. Is it how... Never mind, let's go.
Let's go.
So yeah, she you have to hold her hand, and she brings you into the lamp. It's modestly decorated. It seems like you're in this. Well, I'll describe what I think's there, and then Aster, you add whatever heck else you want. There's small tables and pillows on the floor. There's a bed with silk, with not silk, but cloth curtains around it, and it feels like you're in a room, and you can look out, but it just kind of goes into this nebulous desert/ether. It's very warm and very dry, and also in here are half a dozen kobolds that looks like Some of them were cleaning up. Others were playing a game of dice. And they kind of jump to a start when you come in.
Oh no, as you are, it's fine. Who's winning?
One of them smiles a big toothy grin and says, "Me."
She gives thumbs up.
Where the kobolds always never mind. Is it in the rules?
It's in the rules. And I think she does gesture to like the rim of the lantern that they're inside, like as the roof, and it's just inscribed with like tiny text, like the whole way around the room.
That's
in
cool.
a language that Yuri probably does not understand.
That's really cool. You would see Yuri just like crouch down and spring up, and then try to start reading it as he floats up into the air, and then feather falls slowly back down.
Go ahead and take inspiration, Miss Allie. That was a cool addition.
Very cool.
Thank you. Could I? This is dumb. The curtains on her bed be cloaks of billowing, so they're always moving, like there's wind.
Right now, you're like you kind of inherited this lamp, and it was a little bit run down. If you want to invest in something like that, absolutely.
Of course I
Do
will.
it. Yes.
It's so dramatic.
Can we please, like, if we have to use one of our party coins for it, do it.
Yeah, and getting luxurious settings and expanding this out is something the devil can definitely help you with.
Nice.
You know,
He's so helpful.
So
we could
helpful.
use this to smuggle ourselves somewhere.
Yeah.
Just get everybody into the lamp and then ship us through a border.
like a vampire.
Basically.
It's very useful.
Yeah. So they spend some time in there. Yuri will ask her many questions about the rules themselves, while probably not, retaining anything new of substance.
You know Infernal?
Watches the kobolds gamble a little bit. What'd you say?
Do you know Infernal?
No.
Okay.
That's why he has to ask questions. Just open to her interpretations.
Yeah, so some of them are like more open to interpretation, it seems, but other ones are more like ironclad, and they can't do those.
Well, this is much nicer than the very, very cold wind outside while we're flying, so...
We could stay in here. It's probably easier.
That sounds...
But if we got dropped, then
Well, I float anyway, so...
not in here.
Well...
Or
but
would it work? If
what would
you're
happen
in-
if your lamp was dropped from a very high altitude?
While I'm in here? I don't want to know.
Well, does it say in the rules?
That's very specific, but I can check.
What happens if the lamp is damaged?
That's a good question.
Can it be? It's magical.
Heck, what happens if the lamp is damaged?
I think if your lamp was destroyed, it would be like an interdimensional space getting destroyed. Either it just ejects everybody out, or if it was, or if you do something weird with like portable holes and try to turn it inside out in here, then you can open up a rift into the astral plane and everybody gets sucked in. But I would say probably if your lamp got destroyed, then you would have to get a new lamp if you wanted one. And it would...
My kobolds would be dead, probably.
Yeah, this says...
everybody would be ejected out of it.
Yeah, the class feature says, if the vessel... It has an AC equal to your spell DC, its hit points equal your warlock level plus your proficiency bonus, and it's immune to poison and psychic damage. If the vessel is destroyed or you lose it, you can perform a 1-hour ceremony to receive a replacement from your patron.
Cool.
Which can be done during a short rest. The vessel vanishes in a flare of elemental power when you die.
It's very cool.
Yeah. So I don't know what that would look like for you if you don't have active contact with the patron. Maybe it just like pieces itself back together from grains of earth and sand or something.
That's very neat.
Anyway, yes, so they will enjoy their time in the lamp. Probably spend at least part of the time in there during the flight.
Cozy.
If Aster's cool with that.
Oh, yeah. She loves it in the lamp. That's her house.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, the next day, it's another long flight. By the end of the day, the sun is setting, and you find yourself on top of this massive mountain.
Wait, how many days does this journey take?
It said 2, but I was thinking it might have been more. So, however many you think's appropriate.
Ooh, I like the gold dragon's little mustache danglies. Ooh, they're good.
Nice.
Would Kyla have enough time to draw the silver dragon while they were?
Yeah, you could definitely sketch some stuff out and do it at night.
Yeah, I can roll for that later. It doesn't have to be now. I was just asking.
And there's plenty of time during the Dragon Council meeting to do such things.
I like the image of this little guy running away from either the red dragon or I guess that's a red dragon. Just running away.
Jeez,
The
so
only
little.
two that do not have a person for scale is blue and white, so I can only imagine they've already eaten the especially the white dragon.
Well,
I like how spiny the green dragons are. Very pretty.
Very nice. They've evolved over the years.
What is this one?
Let me
me.
scroll back down.
That's you? I thought this was you.
This one's a copper dragon on the bottom. The bronze
Oh,
dragon is
okay.
this one.
With
That's why I have
frills,
like
the
frills.
brass dragon.
That's why I have the
Yeah,
frills, yeah.
This is a brass dragon. This is a
Is
bronze
this also
dragon.
a brass dragon here?
I meant to say bronze dragon. Brass dragon. I'm sorry.
Brass, bronze, and
Yeah.
then this is copper.
So the one flying with the mountains in the lake is also brass?
Yes.
That is gold.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's got the
because
danglies.
gold has-
Yeah.
Gold
Got
has
the
double
danglies.
frills that
Ooh, that
travel all
long
the way down.
tail is
It's
super
beautiful.
cool. Look at that. It's like an eel almost.
Yeah, like those ribbon eels that kind
Yeah.
of light up a little bit.
That's cool. This is a great design.
So they didn't have any maps or anything for this this council meeting, so I just wanted to pull in a few pictures that would just give you inspiration and give you the feels for what's going on. As you get closer to the destination, she lands at the bottom of the mountain first and encourages people to dress in warmer clothing. And then after that brief respite, she flies up the mountain. It gets frigid cold. There's swirling snow and the loud swooshing of wind through the evergreen trees. These trees stubbornly cling to the steep mountainsides. The snowstorm abates as they circle the tallest peak. It looks as though the top of the mountain was sheared off horizontally, leaving an expansive, perfectly flat area. The snowfall cascades over the slightly iridescent dome, covering the entirety of the clearing. Numerous dragons can be seen below, but perhaps more impressive are the thriving fields of verdant grass and towering deciduous forests, in stark contrast to the surrounding gray and white stone of the mountain. The forests are bursting with the vibrant colors of autumn. Bright red maples mingle with the golden aspens against a backdrop of ancient redwoods. In another area, a well-tended fruit orchard provides a vast selection of ever-ripe fruit for the visitors. At the center of the forest, steam rises from an extensive network of prismatic-hued hot lakes, which are encompassed by black sand beaches. Tall white sand dunes cover the entire eastern side of the dome before gently surrendering to a turquoise blue sea. Though these biomes differ vastly from one another, each blends seamlessly into the next, while under the dome, the deep violet sky is alight with the aurora borealis at all times, and the stars twinkle brilliantly. The main
This
meeting
is the coolest place we've ever been.
The main meeting area sits at the very center of the surrounding biomes. Statues made from various types of stone, metal, and gems depict draconic forms of the council members, ancient ancestors, and a feast has been laid out on intricately carved tables, and specially prepared chairs afford the guests a place to rest after their long journey. We can thank Lori for that description.
Very
Alright, it's beautiful. This is so cool.
This is quite an ivory tower they sit on up here.
Yes, normally the few people reside here. This is typically only used in troubled times.
So I'm going to tell the party out of character, and I don't have any overt or specific plans here, but like, Yuri is a person who came from nothing and does not like
Yeah.
people in authority who like tell other people what to do or lord their power over them or something like
Do
that.
it.
So him coming to this council of like these ancient dragons who were like super powerful and have the ability to shape the world, make things better, who are probably like, oh, but we can't get our talons involved. He's gonna be like, you guys are all hypocritical assholes, and this is also your fault for not being more proactive when you could have done something. So now we're gonna do something, and if you won't, then I will.
Astral will be like, yeah.
But I don't think he's quite at that point yet. It's gonna depend on what these people say.
Oh, poor Yuri.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
or if he thinks he has a chance, right? Like he's not suicidal.
No. Like these are all good dragons. These are the ones that care the most about people and everything like that. You can yell at them and call them a bunch of assholes. That's fine. Your character's 100% safe, and I think that would be fine and justified for some of these dragons.
It'll depend on what they say during the talk and how they present themselves, I think. Yeah. I'm not going to plan to do that beforehand. I'm just letting everybody know that that's a possibility.
That's a possibility.
I'm not trying to derail things. So
it's on the table, and it's not going to derail things if you do that. You do not have to have the support of the metallic dragons. Like, you can do this without them. Some things will be easier if you get their support. Kind of the goal is to get at least 3 of the 5 representatives to be on your side, and then the dragons as a whole will agree to help out.
Gotcha.
All right.
I think Aster, in the downtime before the meeting, grabs a bunch of the fruit from the trees, and she's like, I just like to dry it, and they're not dragons. They're dragons. They're not going to eat fruit. I'm going to take it. They said it was for us, so I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, no, it's 100% for you. This is something that's new. Kyla, have you ever been up here before?
No.
Okay, so this would be your first time.
Yeah. I'll probably reread the description later.
Cool, I can post that out. Let's see. So there are several dragons just kind of milling around. Some of them are flying in the area. Others are just meeting and talking in little clusters. This is like the most dragons you've ever seen in one spot at one time. People that come up and say hi would include Sirocco. As soon as he sees Yuri, he's like, he immediately comes over there and shares in the feast. I think they were on the session NPCs. Useful link, session NPCs. Yeah, okay. I'll show this to you, and then you can click the session NPCs, a link up at the top. You had hit it off with him, trading war stories and things like that. And he asked you about your trip and basically a little chit chat. Once Lightbringer hears that you are here, Lightbringer definitely comes over and gives Kyla a hug. He's walking with a cane now.
Lightbringer.
And he's just super happy that you guys made it. He's told the other dragons a lot about your deeds, and he thinks that you have a real good shot of convincing these dragons to do the right thing. Sometimes they can be a bit stubborn, but they do have good intentions and want the races to succeed. No one wants Tiamat to return. I don't know if you wanted to talk to him or Sirocco or anybody before getting down to council business.
Nothing really for Kylo. Kylo might ask about how things are in Lightbringer's town, though. How things are back at home, and also what happened with her sister, because they sent her back.
Yeah, you send her back to Silver Moon?
Yeah, I believe so. And then
Okay.
we were gonna have.
All right, I thought you had given them to the Harpers or something, but yeah, that's fine.
Maybe I don't remember if that's why I'm asking.
That's fine.
If that's the case, then just don't worry about it for now.
No, she. Well, I was wondering if she would have come back or anything like that, but yeah, she's been imprisoned. She doesn't regret what she did, and unfortunately, she seems not to like you. Your parents are, of course, heartbroken, and they asked me to give you this, and he gives you a token of their affection or whatever, some mittens, something inconsequential. I didn't think about that until just now.
Sorry.
And they'd like you to come home and visit sometime.
Very cool.
But they understand that you're busy saving the world and all that.
It's a little bit time consuming.
But know that they love you.
That's wholesome.
It is.
Asked if he's the mittens since like would have been a little useful a couple weeks ago. Am I right?
Yes, but now that you're within the borders of the magical field that's surrounding this place, it's just completely comfortable. If you're more comfortable in a desert environment, they have that for you. And pretty much all the biomes that are kind of the natural habitat of dragons are represented up here. But for tonight, they let you feast, and the dragons are in no real hurry to meet about this stuff. So unless you force the issue, they'll let you go to sleep, and they'll get started in the morning.
Nice.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah. Yuri would probably interact with Sirocco while he was there, share some news stories, see if there was anything significant or of consequence happening in the wider world, or just gathering news in general, but just his normal MO of spreading the word.
Yeah, he'd show you a new scar he picked up when he took out a black dragon that was working with the cult. He's already been fighting a little bit of the fight.
I think that definitely emboldens Yuri and makes him feel better to know that they are taking an active role in some levels, or at least some of them are.
He says, like when you're like explaining, oh, that makes me feel a little bit better. He's like, he holds up, no. Like most of these jokers are holed up in their mountains and just guarding their treasure.
Mm. And then that deflates him a little bit more, but he says, well, it still heartens me to know that they're not all that way, and I thank you for the service you do for our kind. Humanoids, that is.
Yeah, he talks about one of the members on the council, a bronze dragon, Corulius. I'll type these all out, but yeah, he's hold on a second. Which one of these guys wants to attack Amelia? Yeah, there's two dragons that he thinks we should listen to. You're gonna like these two. Oh, there we go. You're gonna like Corellius and Tezmikella. I'll type those out. Both of those are wanting to attack, and I think that's the right course of action. Attack now before the Cult of the Dragon can get their feet under them.
Have you ever heard of Sir Istavel?
Yes, he's a well-known dragon slayer. Killed a green dragon, damaged his leg.
Yes, we traded for him, one of those prisoner exchanges. And he's been reluctant that we've been slaying so many foes rather than keeping them. I didn't know if there was any reason to be concerned, but it sounds like perhaps not.
That does seem out of character for him. I know that after his injury, he stopped adventuring, but I would think you'd want to kill as many dragons as evil dragons as you could.
Yuri's eyes narrow slightly at this news. I see. Thank you for your counsel.
Sure. And then, so anyways, he goes back into one of his battle stories that he was telling how he was sliding in behind this dragon, and it thought it was going to be able to turn in time, but because of his breath weapon, he was able to take it out.
I tried to use Dragon Fear on Frostheart.
He laughs.
I know. It was more just the heat of the moment. It was the start of a battle. I wanted to announce our presence. It felt right.
No, he's not laughing. He's not laughing at you. He's he's emboldened by it, and he's not ridiculing you at all.
Okay.
I know, so I jumped out there and I used my dragon cry, and it certainly woke him up.
I know I said we could just forge on ahead without Horus, but now that I'm at the moment, I'm leaning a little bit towards waiting on him. We can continue on with this Dragon Council, or we can call it here.
I mean, we made it through a couple hours worth of cool side stuff, and we got some good moments. I mean, we're this close to being towards the end of a section, and it seems like it's going to be a really cool big thing. So I understand if people want to keep going, but I would also feel bad if Horus missed that just because. So
we should wait, of course.
All right, we'll wait for stinking Horus, and
We love you.
We love you, Horde.
Did you hear this?
I will show you the dragons of the council meeting. And the other thing I will share is this little dragon council score sheet. And oh yeah, you can click on that. It's just not blue. I'll put that in the useful links.
I'm going to take a short break to figure out how to pronounce this. Atarliacarnos. Atarliacarnos.
I pronounce
Atarliacarnos.
I pronounce it rhyme. Some of these are Kaylee names. That's not one of them. Rhyme is, so that's like, she's going to have two names. Or he, I can't remember if the silver's a boy or girl.
I also use
why
rhyme
is
as
it
a name
spelled
for
that
a friend.
way? Out of curiosity.
It's more fantasy, like if you spell it that way.
Hold on. Rhyme is the frost, right?
Yeah,
R-I-M-E.
R-I-M-E.
Yeah, sorry. Because I wasn't thinking.
No worries.
Because I made a typo. But let me edit these useful links.
I also
I like
made
the best dragon stage.
I made a white dragon character named Rhyme that had frost powers for a different TTRPG.
It's
So
cool.
understand.
And I stole the name.
Rhyme is actually a
Later
very...
years.
Rhyme was actually an NPC in one of my campaigns. He was a silver dragon there.
Very cool. Orignus. I appreciate that his name starts with AU.
Yes, it's actually... Oh, wait, I think it's a mix of gold and fire in Latin. That's...
Makes sense. I mean, Ignatius comes from Ignis.
Nice.
Yeah, I had just a whole bunch of names relating to fire or things like that. It's like,
Gold in Latin is aurum.
Mm-hmm.
A-U-R-U-M.
Well, cool. Well, let's do session wrap up here. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like.
I like being able to go into my lamp. That was cool.
That was neat. I like your inner descriptions of it. Reminding you got a bunch of kobolds in there. You got to remember to feed every once in a while.
Oh, don't worry. What do you think the fruit was for?
Nice.
Now, I thought they were dead and their souls were trapped in there as servants.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so they're living beings.
It could be if you wanted it. I'll leave that up to Astra.
That's just what I assumed because I thought we'd killed them and you'd harvest their souls to put them into the lamp as your servants.
I cannot remember.
You killed some of them, but that was for the like part of the deal that you made was like you're killing beings with your sword that's tainted by the devil.
Just a little devil taint. That's
a little
fine.
devil taint.
Taint my problem, you know.
Oh.
And but some of them you convinced to, hey, let's not. We're going to kill all of you if you keep throwing yourselves at us, or you can join us. And then they agreed to help you and join you. That's how it was. But it could be that part of the agreement is it's just their little kobold souls in here.
That's up to you.
Yep.
I'll think on that.
Do kobolds like fruit?
Well, they're gonna have to.
Are they omnivorous?
They are, and they are scavengers.
Okay.
They'll eat pretty much
so
anything.
you can feed them the cores.
Solid.
Cool. I like being able to go through some of the Dragon Horde loot and just figure out cool stuff for everybody to get. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that you were flexible with the loot we received.
Thank you.
I like working on. I like doing the downtime activities and thinking through some of the smaller RP scenes. That's always a lot of fun. I don't really have anything that I didn't specifically like, just because I have a lot of fun with what we do.
Cool.
Still love the clocks.
Yeah, clocks are very handy for me as a visual person.
Yeah, I love the mechanic. I steal it for all my games, and we had a lot of fun moving that forward. I think it's neat that the mercenary company has been formed. So one of the things I'd like you guys to think about is like what critical success could do. It could get rid of that negative trait of starting with green guys. You could start with regular guys maybe, or you could have some inspirational leaders or famous people that makes replacing losses easier, or if you can come up with something cool mechanical, like maybe there's a specific maneuver that they picked up that will be useful in the days to come.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put some thought into that. I think all of those sound like fun possibilities, so I'm not going to get too hung up on the particular thing. But, thematically it makes sense that it came from Taisho and it came from his contacts, so either a specific person that was brought in that would convey a particular bonus, or just a combination of all those specialized people giving the troops a specific bonus is a cool idea, too.
Ooh, maybe we'll ping Stark and see if he has any ideas.
I think that's fun. That's a way to continue him to be included.
He wanted to be partially included. You just can't make it to game days anymore.
I understand that. But yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay. I like that there's a tangible benefit to doing the clocks and doing those things. I really liked being able to finally share that secret about the black dragon.
That's so good.
That is so cool.
Before you guys got we're gonna go kill him. I think you probably still could have done some damage on it, but it could have gone south for sure.
Do we know how big is he? Is he an ancient black dragon?
He's an adult dragon, or they're both adult dragons.
Gotcha. I'll be like, Sirocco, we could really use your help for this other project that we're currently working on.
Oh, heck yeah. He'd be all about that.
He'll talk that over with the group as to how we want that. But I mean, if we're at a council of dragons and we can be like, hey, you know that one dragon that's been, you know, a spur in the thorn or a thorn in the side of everyone for a long time. Well,
What if?
Oh, that's why.
but that's a group decision, so.
Vorag Hamanthar, the Black Death. Let's see. He is challenge rating 14.
An adult brass dragon is challenge rating 13. Please keep this in mind.
Well, that's fine. But I mean, you guys have been fighting other dragons, but fighting two at once.
But if we have a dragon on it, cumulatively, we're powerful enough to be a dragon. So then it's like we have two dragons on two dragons.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we just need them to get caught in his breath weapon.
So flip a coin, and that's who'll win.
Sounds right.
It could be a fun thing to do. If that's something you guys want to do, we'll talk about that.
Easy. Yeah, see? Kaylee's got it. We just won, so we can just sweep forward past
So
that.
if we just get the treasure hoard, split it with
Yeah.
Sirocco.
So we have 20 coin now. I would now like... I just want a ring for every finger. I know I can't attune to all of them.
I don't need to, though. It's cool.
It
They
also
don't need to be magical.
buffs my unarmed damage because of all my rings.
Most of the rings are you get one more attunement slot.
Right, there you go. Oh my.
Requires attunement.
Dang.
God.
Well, I guess that means it doesn't count as an
Yeah, it's
attunement
worthless.
slot.
It's a meaningless magic item. +1, -1. All right. Well, I guess that's where we'll call it, unless anyone has any other bits of info.
I would like to thank you, Ek, for being patient with my goobiness today in general.
You're
I appreciate
fine.
it.
No, you're fine, Allie. I love your goofiness.
Thanks, buddy.
Cool.
Yes.
Well, everybody have a good night. Thanks for watching, and we'll be doing this again in 2 weeks. We will... What are we doing? Probably going to be investigating some stuff that's happening over in Elven lands and possibly a green dragon and a dungeon and all that fun stuff after we talk to a bunch of gold dragons and try to get them on our side.
Sounds good.
Nice.
Excitement.
Cool, man. Well, you guys have a good night, and we'll see you later.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See.